Now we're just gonna get more high despite all of you. Now is our time to shoot back 6 shots of tequila. Surely we will not regret shooting back 6 shots of tequila at the beginning of our session.
Are you actually taking shots?
That's what we're doing.
Why are you taking shots of tequila?
Because Father Mahali left to the men's room.
Are you actually taking shots, or are you just joking?
You know it.
I'm hearing a beeping. What is that?
It's me being a shit.
It is being a shit. Cheers, everybody. Taking all those tequila shots now. Yup, took all those shots. Just drank half a...
Oh my god.
Just drank half a fifth of tequila.
I didn't know you were much of a drinker like that.
Well, we're not, but then Mihaly went to the men's room, so we didn't have a choice.
It wasn't drinking. He's smoking pot.
Just getting so smashed. That's what we do. You know, we just get
well, here's the thing. I don't know you to drink, so it was a worrying concern. That's why. You know me. I don't drink, so if I start drinking, you know shit's gone up.
No. Drinking's what we do. We just drink all the time. This is all we do. Love drinking. Love getting so fucking drunk over here. All because of Father Mihaly.
No.
This is what we do.
The dog's hanging from the fan. The clown is wedged in the wall.
I mean, fire. Find the lie.
The lie.
What are y'all talking about? What?
It's all your fault, Mihaly.
The designated drunk left, so someone else had to step up, and then shit got crazy.
Yeah, Mihaly, how could you? Welcome back, attractive and well-educated watchers, to a brand new session of the Grand Crusade. Last time we left off, if memory serves, the party absolutely smashed the Beskor army and killed the shit out of them with literally 0 casualties because, so this time around, we got just a surprisingly short block text for this particular series. So, if everybody first introduce yourselves.
Nah.
I'm Father Mihaly.
I'm Malmbjorn, and I am caffeinated for your pleasure.
And Matei is not here today because of various reasons in real world, but in universe it's going to be because they are going after the ocean area, and Matei does not the boats, as people who have been here since Ep 1 will remember.
Hysterically afraid of the water.
Yeah, he doesn't. So obviously, you know, he's not here today.
And I'm Boyo.
Oh yeah, that's Boyo. Yeah. Anyway, so we'll do a quick little block text, really quick for us, and then get to it. The date is September 30th. 1189, as far as you know. It has been a week since you came to claim victory over the Beskor military, knowing that such a force was nearing the absolute limit of available forces on the planet, and having sunk the second fortress, the trade capital of the world, sorry guys, and used its floating motivator as an impromptu transport ship, the Zupon has brought you to the capital of the planet. Matei, having offered to stay behind, has kept protection over the common folk. Fergie has been made Master Joler of the 56,000 Beskor prisoners who have all been brought along, and the Zupon has been boasting the entire trip that he can take the capital without a single shot fired. Now you near the fortress, the only structure on the entire planet with a wall, and the Zupon speaks to the governor personally. If only to insist upon his goodwill, the Zupon insists that all Beskor prisoners be returned, which have been gathered up since you arrived on the planet from the countryside and the waters of the ocean, and they shall be returned into the walls of the capital. The Zupon claims that his food stocks grow low, something Boyo in specific knows is an outright lie, and that it is better for the souls of the people that the innocent Beskorics go free, something that Father Mihaly can suspect is a lie. 3 days later, the forces of the governor surrender, having been starved out by their own people. Now, October 3rd, as far as you know, it is your choice to come up with where you all desire to travel now that you've taken the planet.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were actually going to do something here. I didn't think it was... Okay.
No,
Well,
no.
I thought we were going to do something there too.
No, fun fact, this is actually exactly what happened in the book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is one of the last on rails interactions you'll have in this entire campaign. Like,
Gotcha.
yeah. So
Okay.
now you're starting to open up. You'll have the choice of what you want to fucking do with your lives.
Gotcha.
All right. But I suppose that depends on what our options are.
Well, we've talked about going to the Hebron Princess, or rather now Queen Meralda's home planet, wherein you might be able to make alliances with her people. They've also talked a couple times about the Nothrenia, who are presently under interdict by the Beskarics, but who would, of course, be against the Beskarics if saved from their planetary blockade. And there was also some talk of raiders who seem to attack Beskarics quite often.
Okay, what was that second group you mentioned?
The Nothrenia.
The Nothrenia.
You don't know much about them. You just know that their planet is kind of nearby-ish, and it's been held under interdict for the past, 5 years. So
What is interdict?
Nobody allowed on or off.
All right. Hey, Father, would you mind adjusting your mic a bit? I've maxed you out, and you're still kind of quiet.
Whoops, my mic was tilted up.
That is
thank you.
way better. Yeah, no, that's super way better. Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, so basically the entire planet is blockaded. According to the Hebrons, the Nothrenia actually used to have, many stellar systems under their belts, but they were chased back into their home system by the Beskarics.
All right. Is the Zupan here with us, or where are we exactly?
You can basically just treat this as a council meeting. You're sitting in the island fortress at this point, we will say.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, so... And by island fortress, we mean it's a giant archipelago that is covered by a wall. That sticks up out of the ocean. Yeah.
Geez, that's one hell of a wall if it's sticking up from the seafloor. Unless it's a shallow ocean.
Beskarics material science is the best in the known universe.
Well.
And remember,
They are.
If I wasn't playing a meathead, that would be very very interesting.
Oh, you can appreciate a good wall. Come on, everybody can appreciate a good wall. Come on.
All right.
Well, I know what I would be wanting to do.
So I would suggest that we would, lack of role playing here. Sorry, that we should visit the Hubbard's planet first to deliver the princess and establish a formal alliance before we actually go out and do anything.
All right.
I agree with that.
Boyle, what were you saying?
Oh, I was just going to see about finding us a new ship.
Oh, there are many good ships on planets.
That is a very good idea.
I think that needs to be our first stop.
Yeah, we would have to do that first.
Otherwise, I don't know. Malmbjorn, how good are you at flapping your arms like a bird?
This is an amazing thing to hear in our mind Boyo actually saying to this 7-foot-tall Viking monstrosity. Because
Malmbjorn is very strong. You should know this.
Boyo's kind of lanky, isn't he? He's kind of thin and lanky-ish, isn't
Yeah.
he? Yeah. We love the idea of this well-dressed, lanky spitfuck-looking motherfucker looking at this
he's
true giant and be like, "How good are you at flapping your arms and flying away?"
Well, I mean, he would be.
Malmbjorn takes a moment to look at his muscles to appreciate himself.
No, maybe.
I mean,
do it.
Please try. I would love to see you fly.
Watch, yeah.
Look, I may be a bit of a meathead, but I'm not an idiot. Okay, sorry.
Damn. I'd put money on that. I'd take bets.
Boy over here well, I mean, the science and math technically isn't worked out. His wing's big enough. Maybe.
It's possible.
It's possible. Boyo, the hard skeptic over here, being like, no, hold on.
Okay, but I agree with Boyo. First, we should find a new ship, and then we can go to the habited planet. And then we could go to the habited planet and bring back the princess or the queen. Now she is
The queen. Yeah.
There's always the governor's pleasure barge. Recommends some random guy in the background.
I mean, that is an option.
It's definitely an option.
I do have
options. That is a single one of them.
Yeah.
I do have some empty arms that need filling. So
Of all of the options, that certainly is one.
Certainly one of them.
Probably not the one we're gonna go with.
It's funny because you all know that Beskar scout ships are like 5 miles long, so like
I keep forgetting that.
they suspend them in the ocean and stuff like that when they're just like on planet and stuff.
Well, yeah, the water would help disperse the weight.
Yeah, so like you have quite a few options here, but you have to kind of ask yourself, like, do you want yourself a warship? Do you want yourself a, quick scouty boy, and so forth?
Well,
something that could hold its own would be
I would
hold what?
Hold its own.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, being within character, I would, I would suggest something with a little more oomph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're talking about you guys want a military style ship, but how big do you want this ship?
Well, true. We also have to balance comfort and stuff because, if we're going to be on it, we need to have more than just military barracks, I guess. But I'm used to that. My character's used to that, so.
And
I'm used to living on a boat.
Yeah. I'm like, how far away is the Hebbard homeworld?
In terms of days or something.
The Hebbard homeworld is 10 days away by light. So it's fairly far away by light. The Threnia homeworld is only 3 days away by FTL.
Yeah, so honestly, maybe a ship that designed for comfort and long travel would be best.
Well, it is also important to, as we were mentioning, Beskarik's idea of what's comfortable and humans' idea of what's comfortable is very different. The Beskariks require very large dwellings and extremely large sections of ship to feel comfortable in working with each other. And so far, you've found that you can stick an entire fucking village, an entire town onto just a scout ship and still be more than comfortable for a whole month,
Well, yeah, true. Plus, they're also filled with water, which, when we remove it, will definitely reduce the weight and stuff, which should make it go by faster. So, a military ship might not actually
light.
Light is light. When you're dealing with speeds that large, a few 100 million tons of matter is really not
true.
Negligible.
Yeah,
but true. Yeah, true. But say we get there, or in between getting, leaving and arriving, maybe we encounter, something that causes us to need to, drop out, like a space encounter, some whatever, then it would become, feasible to calculate all that weight.
We suppose here what we're asking, let's say you have the full spread of ship builds or whatever. You want to scout, an Imperial military scout vessel, you can get all the way down there. You want a standard patrol frigate, you can find one of those in this capital that you're in. If you want, an aircraft or a fleet carrier or whatever, that's probably not here. This is probably too far out. But if you want a full-fledged battleship, probably you can find one of those on planet. So like you're really, obviously you want something with oomph. What's the size range we're talking about here?
All right. Well,
how hard you want to be coming out of the fucking FTL,
Well, I wouldn't say
cruiser.
I wouldn't take
cruiser. Okay.
Like not a giant warship.
But we're getting our Arleigh Burke on.
But what?
We're getting our Arleigh Burke on.
Exactly. A missile cruiser.
So I don't want to leave the planet completely undefended with all its hundreds of ships, but we don't need to take the biggest and badass, but we do want something
let's get our Arleigh Burke on.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm in agreement.
Father Mihaly, any
Well, I have nothing to add. I'm also in agreement.
Okay, awesome. So you have 5 cruisers to peruse, and the people, in the nature of soldiers being soldiers in an area that they've just taken but can't kill anybody, have already painted names on them. So we'll just give you the names off the top of our head. The Indomitable, the Indestructible, the Peerless.
How about the Pork Chop Express? No, I'm kidding.
You'd be amazed if we would have put that one down if we really thought it would work with it. The Peerless, the Vengeance, and the Screaming Eagle. Because the kids had to get to one of them.
All right. Well, I'm down with the Indomitable.
I vote for the Screaming Eagle.
Father,
I will.
So by the way, we can tell you what each of the ships is clearly built around.
Okay, if they were different, then definitely tell us first.
Yeah. So the Indestructible is obviously armor. The Indomitable is speed. The Peerless is clearly like sensors. The Vengeance is weapons. And the Screaming Eagle is a general, all-around, good, middle-of-the-road ship. It has no specialties, but it has no weaknesses.
And it has a hilarious name.
And it has a hilarious name because the kids got to it first. Because it didn't look weird or intimidating, so they approached it.
Well, dang.
I think the Screaming Eagle, then.
Yeah, a nice general purpose, because we don't know what we're going to encounter. So that does sound like the more sensible option.
Gotta admit, the Vengeance is a scary-looking ship. Got a
True.
lot of gun.
And I'm down for the pew-pew. And you can fix everything you can fix any problem you have with a big enough gun. But in this case,
America.
Yeah, in this case, we do actually have, let's say, we have royalty to protect, so we do need to ensure we have more options.
Oh, the princess or the queen herself won't be coming. She'll be sending whatever knights or whatever.
Oh no, I thought we were delivering her to the planet.
You might have had to, but you don't have to because she can settle here now.
Oh, I thought that's okay. So that was the reason why I selected the Hubbard planet in the first place. It was to deliver her home.
Well, they would just be a strong ally in general.
Yeah, and then to establish formal connections. But I mean, we can still do that. But I had thought we were delivering her home.
Well, we suppose that's why you were choosing the ship first, to think that stuff over a little better.
You guys have any other suggestions then? If
Well, I mean, I honestly thought we were bringing her back to her homeworld because clearly maybe they'd want to know she's okay.
Yeah.
No, she's you made the agreement with her several episodes back that she'll integrate into Crusader society with her society. So
Well, yeah,
She
true.
ain't
But,
going nowhere. She's settling down and popping out kids. You know.
oh, well, I mean, yeah, I remember that, but I thought we still had to, the whole formality thing, having her be there would be better than just showing up.
No, she can send an envoy. They're Hive people. They understand
Oh.
that.
Okay. Well,
my other option was I've already forgotten their names. Yeah, the other guys. What are their names
The
again?
Nothrenia.
The Nothrenia. I was going to suggest let's try and help them out then.
well, we still need to establish the alliance. So it still would be a good idea, but yeah, it is a little further away.
No, it's closer.
No, the Hubbard planet's further away.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
But we can do the close one first.
yeah.
The Raiders, for the record, are the you don't know how long that's going to take to find them.
Okay, yeah. So, if that's the case, then I would like to alter my vote to the one that's in, what do you call it? Not entrenched, but
Interdicted.
interdicted. Yeah. Do we know the political atmosphere between them and the Hubbard?
The Habbards are aware of them, but they don't have close diplomatic ties or anything like that.
No
And
hostilities.
they're
or
probably
whatever?
not enemies.
They're not enemies. No.
Okay,
they're
cool.
fine.
Okay,
They don't have any particular attachments to each other. They just know about each other.
Okay, so that would be my vote. I'll change it to the closer planet. Could you say the name again one more time?
It is kind of important to also remember that the Nothrenia are like kind of a backwater second-rate power at best, and the Hebbards are like a top-tier power near peer to the Beskariks. And then there are the Raiders, who apparently are hard enough to attack Beskariks on a semi-regular basis, but nobody knows who they are. If that makes sense.
It does.
So they could be a near peer power to the Beskariks, or they could be some backwater that just happens to specialize in beating the shit and punching up. Who knows?
Right, underdogs.
Yeah.
So, what would you guys recommend? A mission of what's the word? A holy mission of rescue versus.
I would suggest starting conservatively.
Oh my God, politics!
No, not that kind of stuff. But start conservatively, as in.
We're sorry.
Oh, he loves that.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, start conservatively, as in don't overextend ourselves too early before we know how we're going to do things.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's a new ship that we have no idea how to use it yet.
Okay. Well, you're
outside of
right.
the basics.
I'm just giving my suggestions right now. And now that we're not actually delivering the princess, I can go either way. We can make the alliance to make ourselves stronger right now, and then go rescue. Sorry, what's their name again?
The Nothrenia.
The Nothrenia.
Nothrenia. Yeah.
Nothrenia or Nothrenia?
Nothrenia.
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 Nothrenia. Okay.
Nothrenia.
Yeah. Sorry, we're a little our nose right now. We're a little sick, so boyo knows.
You're a little nose.
We're a little nosy right now, so it doesn't sound quite right when we talk.
Gotcha. Well, so that
there are other options. Those are just the big three options, by the way. So do keep your minds open. Right now, this whole entire where you want to go, this is not on rails at all. There are more than three options. The options available to you right now are what you make of them.
Okay, so we're basically free roam right now then.
Yes.
Okay, now knowing all that, here is my personal suggestion, and I would like to hear everybody else's. Even though they're further away, we hit up the Hubbards first to establish, ties. And then we come back for the Nothrenia. Or after we establish ties, we could explore outward to see what's going out, to see what else is around.
Honestly, yeah, because we can at least tell the Hebards, hey, we rescued your princess from the Beskariks. So, want to join up and help us take on the Beskariks together?
Yeah,
Something like that.
And if Northrenia, they've been interdicted for a while. It doesn't sound like they're being actively conquered or currently in danger.
Well, they are under attack. They're being blockaded. Their empire once consisted of like a dozen stars, and they've been chased back to their home system, all the way back to their home planet, where they just haven't been able to be defeated.
Okay, so then I would reiterate again. All this information, helps me with my decision making. So that would emphasize more, get the alliance done, and then come back for the Northrenia. So that's my final vote, unless something else big happens.
That'll be my final vote as well.
All right.
Boyo?
That's 2-1, so it doesn't matter.
Actually, it does, because I would like to know your opinion, because whatever you have to say could actually, give more information.
It did already too. He's right.
Yeah.
You've been remarkably convincing through this entire session.
Yeah, just because you have a conflicting opinion doesn't mean it's not useful.
Okay. Well, I was saying start small, as in, let's go talk to these, to this relatively small power and see what we can do.
Well, they're also blockaded, so we may or may not end up in a fight.
Agreed, which is why I'm kind of changing my mind.
Might also make you want to change your mind on what ship you get.
Yeah, that too.
There's a lot of options here.
Yeah.
You know that the big battleships do have weapons that can hurt other Beskariks ships. So that battleship would actually be able to tangle with other Beskariks.
So what's the current one we got? The Screaming Eagle. How's that their weapon fare?
They have a couple weapons that can hurt other Beskariks ships, but they're bit of an interceptor type vehicle, as it were.
Right.
They're good at what they do. If you had the Vengeance, then it would be decked out with like all non-visible light weaponry and stuff like that. But the Screaming Eagle's just a generalist, so it's just got a couple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So honestly, we can always come back and get the Vengeance and go help out. I can't get their names to stick in my head.
Northrenia.
Northrenia, yeah. We could always come back.
It's just if you're at a bar and somebody rolls up and he's like, "Hey man, you want to buy some Threnia?" You're like, "No Threnia, no Threnia. I do not buy that shit."
Okay, but yeah, I was saying
we just made that on the top of our head.
You want to buy some death sticks?
You want to buy some Threnia? No Threnia.
Okay. Anyways, I'm trying to say we could go establish an alliance with the Hebards, and then come back, take the Vengeance, and then go help out the Northrenia.
Well, remember, the Vengeance is a little... You could take the big fucking battleships in the Northrenia if you want.
Yeah, too. That would be 20 days, and they are actively, in a situation.
They've been in that situation for 5 years.
Yeah. True. That's another thing. So, unless something catastrophic changes within that time, we should be okay, but you never know.
And we'd be getting there with...
more troops and bigger ships.
Yeah, we'd be getting there with potentially some help. So,
anyways, I think for now I think we're all in agreement taking the Screaming Eagle to the Hebard homeworld.
I agree.
Everybody, all aboard the Screaming Eagle.
It sounds like a roller coaster.
All right. So the Screaming Eagle systems are... the Screaming Eagle is quite a bit larger than the original Crusader ship that brought you here. That one was only 5.5 miles long. The Screaming Eagle is almost 20 miles long. It's stored far off the coastline over the whatchamacallit. Fucking, we're having such a bad brain fart right now. Sorry. The Abyss. That's the one. Right. It's wet docked well off the coast, several miles over the abyssal zone. So, it's cool. And, when you actually do get out to it, everybody will have to roll relevant stuff. First and foremost, Father Mihaly, we're going to need you to roll some kind of perception roll. So 3D.
All right.
Seconds.
You ain't see shit.
Actually, he might see shit.
Oh.
Hey.
Right, because remember, you're supposed to go low in this setting.
Yeah, roll under.
Yeah. That's a roll under, so yeah, he might see shit, actually.
Well, it's been like a freaking month since we've played, so.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's reasonable. So when everybody goes in, you notice that there is some, like on the walls or whatever, when you walk into the opening corridor. God damn it, we wanted to say cavern a ton of times. Corridor. There's some like flat seaweed looking things, like flat black seaweed looking things lying around, like all over the place.
Yeah.
Just like, some stuck to the wall and some all over the floor.
Any particular reason I'm taking note of these things?
Just, it's not what you've seen in normal Baskerix ships so far.
Okay.
You don't know what these things are, but they're kind of wiggly and gross looking.
Yeah.
You just notice them around,
Okay.
Oh, well, that explains it. I was on mute.
Wow, okay. You were trying to say something, we imagine, then.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, are they just like haphazardly strewn about, or are they like, can we see them, are they organized in some way?
No, haphazardly strewn about in random locations. Yeah.
And it looks like green seaweed?
Looks like black strips of seaweed. Like long and kind of wriggly and gross,
And
yeah.
only Father notices this?
It's just something that Father because to everybody else it would seem like just part of the environment and stuff.
Oh, this is inside the ship?
Yeah, you're inside the ship, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's just like some strips of black seaweed looking shit adhered to the wall in some places. Yeah. So next, Malbjorn. When you get to the bridge, we're gonna have you roll a generic soldiery roll. You walk into a place of death. We want to see if your instincts prickle.
These dice don't really like me in the last couple sessions.
No
Maybe
kidding.
it's your time. Who knows?
3d6.
3d6. Now roll again and take the lowest one. Ooh,
that was better.
You walk into the room and you feel it. You find it. You close your eyes as you walk onto the bridge, and then your hand eventually, as you walk forward, your hand eventually touches something, and you look down and you see. You don't know how you know it because you can't read any of this shit, but you're sure this is the weapons console. You're sure you are in a place of destruction and death right now. This is your zone. Your warrior's instinct kicked in, and you found the weapon. Okay, congratulations, Boyo. We're gonna have you roll an appraisal, which is 3D, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh, I just realized the reason why you had me roll twice was because of advantage.
Basically, yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah, your warrior's instincts. You know a weapon when you see one, and because of that, you're slightly better at finding them than other people. So Boyo, the ship, as far as you've seen ships, you've taken stock of only a couple of ships so far, but it seems good. You can readily recognize that certain parts have been taken out and replaced over time, but it appears that they have been sealed properly. You get the sense that this is an older model. Old, but probably stable. Maybe like it's been through some shit, you know?
Yeah, they don't make them like they used to, so.
That's even the case in your time.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, good. She's an old ship, but she's got heart. You know, she's probably got a lot of heart in her. Like a good old ship back home.
We're thinking like the Millennium Falcon kind of heart.
Kind of got the Millennium Falcon type of heart going on. She's an older ship, but she checks out.
All right. But I recognize the systems and I know how to use them.
It seems to run off of the same general mechanics as the scout ships.
Okay.
And we have... Sorry.
Oh, no, we were about to say, you imagine if it were a much larger ship, like a battleship, you might have to deal with, like, engine redundancies and stuff, but this one seems to be simple enough.
And we have no more Beskarics individuals with us?
Oh, no, you have over 1 million Beskarics individuals that you can handpick from. They surrendered, remember?
Okay, gotcha.
yeah, you won that fight.
Well,
without a single shot.
You also said we turned them in, released them. So I didn't know. The governor
that you turned them into surrendered 3 days later. Yeah, so.
Are they on the ship with us, though?
You can certainly you certainly have like engineers and stuff that you would have brought with and such. Yeah.
Good.
All right.
Yeah.
Boyo, are you able to change these consoles? I do not like seeing all this alien language anywhere. It's difficult to make out.
Question.
Yep.
Then.
Yep.
How are these consoles presenting? Are they like flat glass panels, or are they buttons
or holographic, projections?
A lot of them seem like they would be flat glass panels on the walls at like just over head height.
Damn.
Yeah, you actually, because remember the Beskor don't they cling to the walls with their little grabby boys, and then they operate their machinery on vertical surfaces. Yeah, so everything's in reach because the Beskarics don't need that much height or whatever. But yeah, it's a little. He's right to ask for it.
No, the reason I was asking is I can relabel buttons.
Yeah, you can probably reprogram them to read human if you can. We're supposed to read Greek. If you could take the time to reprogram it for long enough, but that would require a electronics operation roll.
Do I have an engineer that could do that? If I could...
You know what? 2 seconds. That's Yes, there is a programmer aboard that would be able to, with extensive walkthrough, hypothetically be able to do what you're asking. Since it's just a visual thing you're asking.
We have many days from here to there.
Yeah, and we're not really pressured, so even if it does fail, we can just do it again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he knows how to get it back to, the factory, as it were. That's no problem.
Good.
All right. Would you mind speaking to the Beskricks and having them change some of this language into something more readable?
We'll see what we can do.
Oh, good.
At least for your console.
Yeah.
right, for the weapons.
At least
console.
for the weapons. Because I can read the language just fine. It doesn't matter to me.
But you want your shooter to be on his best.
But the weapons should be in Greek.
Yeah, you don't want him to have to think about shit. You want him to be at his best at the weapons, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah, totally.
So I'll tell my programmer to start with the weapons consoles.
Oh,
And we'll move on from there.
Alright. It'll take him a while, but he can probably get it working by the time you get anywhere important.
Good.
While the programmer is working, I will also be with him, testing out the controls just to make sure, he gets the translation right, as well as me understanding which how it operates. So I'm
Which
as
button
also
do the shooty.
Yeah, so I'm also learning the console at the same time as he's programming it, as well as correcting any errors in language that he's trying to do.
That's awesome. Roll a gunnery skill.
Give me one
That's
more.
awesome. Roll a gunnery skill.
I'm on the wrong page. One second.
There isn't actually much risk here, but it's a great thing because there is potential risk here. You're still handling a big ship cannon.
Right. Trying to find it. So it's just 3d6. I'm trying to find what
just 3d6 there. On the left, there's a little d20 icon. Click on it, and it will open up your dice roller.
Oh yeah, no. I wasn't looking now. I was trying to see if I needed to add anything to it, like any. Oof. Oh.
Congratulations. You don't accidentally fire anything. Remembering, of course, that you're in what amounts to a shipyard right now, so you're surrounded by other ships and stuff.
Oh, well.
Yeah, okay, so you had a very real chance of opening fire on a smaller ship and causing a chain reaction explosion or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, but you totally rolled it, because once again, your warrior's instincts have activated. You know what the pointy end of a weapon is.
What, the Beskricks have no common sense of what a safety is? Jeez.
Well, why would they? You only go to the combat station when you're in combat stations.
Well, surely you have to have some idea of, misfires, or at least they would for high technology.
Remember, most of their society is entirely based around automation.
Yeah,
most of them don't
do anything.
You type into the console what you want it to do, and the automation mostly takes care of the rest. Which of course humans just cannot trust.
Yeah.
Manual is possible, but the Beskricks don't do it.
All right. Well, I guess I'll be doing that for the time being while we travel, seeing as it's probably going to be a multi-day thing.
Practicing with the gunnery.
Exactly.
All right. Father Mihaly, do you have anything specific you want to do with the, what would be His Majesty's ship? His Majesty's ship, the Screaming Eagle? You are entitled, as the holy man of this mission, to bring whatever civilian or spiritual resources that you find necessary, of course.
I guess whatever my usual inventory of holy artifacts or a Bible, that sort of thing.
Okay. All right. Do you want to do anything special to the ship itself?
I guess I can christen it.
Okay. Roll.
Bless various hallways and rooms and whatnot.
All right. Okay.
Aside from that, I'm not really sure.
You have kind of determined, along with your fellow clergyman at this point, that you can bless the water cycler, the main water cycler, to probably take care of, because the first ship you had to do it for like a couple of weeks or whatever of going down every hall and blessing all the water and all that shit. But at this point, you figured out that you could probably just do it for the main water cycler, and that should be good.
Yeah, so I'll just bless that as well.
Cool. Would anybody like to bring any livestock?
Actually, I would like to to reiterate on what I was doing earlier. What's his name? Small names. One sec. Sorry. Captain Nyalarn. Yes, I would also like him, as well as maybe like a couple others, to also be with me learning the controls in case I can't.
So you're actually having the Varangians train with ship weapons specifically.
Yes.
That
so I
is
can,
good.
Me
Please
and him
roll
will
3D
train
for us.
Me and him will train, and then he could probably train others in my stead while I'm away.
Yeah, please roll another 3D if you don't mind. Not quite the right D.
Oh. Okay.
No problem. Okay. All right.
Same numbers.
Well, yeah, as it so happens. Yeah, all right.
Oh.
One moment. Wait. Okay. Roll another 3D for us, please. My gods.
I think I blew all my luck in the first rolls.
Well, if it's any consolation, only 4 Beskerix engineers get killed before you end up taking off.
What?
For pissing off the angry, trained Varangian 7-foot-tall killing machines that you're assigning under their charge as students.
Well,
but don't worry, it's only 7 Beskerix, man. You got so many more where that came from.
Do I have to make specific orders not to kill them? I'll make that.
The problem is the mode of communication that Beskerix use to those they consider inferior to them is mutually exclusive to the Varangian culture as a whole, which is entirely based on honor and settling social scores. So the Beskerix will regularly insult the Varangians, who will be honor-bound to kill them on the spot. Fortunately, you only lose 7 Beskerix before they start figuring out that they need to stop talking to the Varangians like they are inferior livestock.
Okay, well, all right. No skin off my back.
Yeah, no, it's. What did you think was going to happen, man? Here, come on. You weren't assigning pitiful little peasant folk to learners, kids or whatever. You were assigning angry killing machines. So you can actually like bring the entire Varangian force. You only have 50 Varangians, so
okay.
You might actually want to bring the entire force. They're good in a pinch.
Well, how much do we have staying on the planet?
Thousands of soldiers.
Oh, well.
You only have 50 Varangians, but you have thousands of soldiers.
True, but we don't want to take... I mean, wouldn't it be kind of bad if I took the entire elite force?
No.
No. All right. Well, for suggesting it, I might as well have them all.
Less people for us to deal with without sacrificing overall power.
Yeah, if you've got to bring a small force, you might as well just bring your best. That's the general rule.
Okay.
Think a tabletop army, like a miniatures army.
Yeah.
We have a small army with a high point value.
Yeah.
So just a large unit versus like 10 small ones.
Yes. Yeah. It's a small army with a large point value. So it's worth a lot, but it's very few individuals. Whereas on the planet, we're leaving a large army with a large point value.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because on a planet, it's more important that you have more people rather than a few people. Yeah.
Yes.
Because on a large scale, quantity has a quality of its own, but you're just going on one ship, so you only, you could put a whole shit ton of people on those corridors, or alternatively, you could maximize your amount of oomph for your guy.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, I am also not...
Less people to feed, less people to keep in check, less people to watch.
Right. All right. Yeah, no, that sounds great. So, definitely we'll stick with that. We'll take the full 50 Varangians.
We actually love this conversation as an in-character thing, because Boyo is the logistician, and Malmbjorn would have been used to getting his every single need taken care of him by the Empire. Because he's the bodyguard of the Emperor, he doesn't have to ask for anything, it's just provided to him. But Boyo has to fucking worry about that shit.
Because I'm the one providing it, usually.
Because he's the one providing it, yeah. He's the one running the markets, he's the one running the caravans, he's the one, with the fleets. Yeah, no, he pays attention to this shit. This guy's on it.
All right, so I don't want to take up too much time. I'll pass it on to whoever wants.
At this point, it's kind of coming down to last-minute requests and ideas. Obviously, Matei will end up going on this thing, but he doesn't actually have much property because of that. Jeez, right. How could we have forgotten? It comes now to matters of the planet, and as the Zupon is not a greedy man, he insists that his advisory council come up with the methods of which to, give the land away to those people involved in the taking of the planet.
Well,
it's also probably abundantly obvious to anybody who puts even 5 minutes of thought to it that if you're going to get even more planets, then he can probably eventually just take one for himself once you get enough.
Right.
So, you guys get to decide what happens with all the land here.
Were you going to say something else? It sounded like you cut out.
No, sorry. Actually, we might have cut out. We had a little blurb in our connection.
Land.
Yeah, all the land here, you guys get to decide who gets it, where it goes to, etc. He is clearly expecting each of you to take your own cut for yourselves, though. That just goes without saying.
Well, do we have to decide that now, or can that wait?
It's an excellent time to decide it before you run off and hypothetically get even more land.
Okay.
Those sort of things in an Alexander the Great sort of way tend to get out of hand if you don't take care of them promptly.
Well, I would then request a place in any mountains nearby for elite military training to replenish elite warriors, as well as potentially finding any ore deposits, in the future.
How very Viking of you. We dig it.
I'll take something.
Yeah.
No?
Go on. No, go on.
I was going to say, I'll take something down near the water where I can start introducing my
crops and farmland will be very lucrative.
My mussels. What are they called?
Pinna nobilis.
Yeah, the clams.
Yeah.
Wait, did I miss something? Well, I don't remember the clams.
How have you missed the clams? That of all of the weird shit, that's been mentioned a lot.
Yeah.
I have. That's kind of his thing.
I have a colony of giant clams that have been living in the ship that we had and have been brought through. And basically they're the clams that you harvest sea silk from.
I think I vaguely remember something about sea silk. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm starting to remember now. Okay, that was a long time ago. I completely
and it is immensely valuable.
It's the highest quality cloth known in the known world at the time. Yeah.
And me, I decided that I wanted to move into that market. And so instead of like buying up the material, I found the clams and I was transplanting them to Argamo?
You found that there was a natural Pinna nobilis reef just off of the coast of Argamum going
that's
by,
what it was.
and you convinced the Zupon to let you move, like have a place in Argamum and cultivate that reef because you could make him literally richer than God.
Yeah. So the whole idea was to make lots and lots of them. But when we came here, I brought some with me.
Yeah, he took out the best clams the best Pinna nobilis that he could and put them in the scout ship, and then the scout ship got, half beached on the processing fortress. So
it is now its own reef.
It is now its own reef. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. So, at the risk of taking up more time,
we're not even like an hour long now. Take up as much time as you want. We're here to talk.
As I request, land for the mountains and training area and stuff, I also want to suggest to the Zupon to get people on studying the wall structures of those sea the sea fortresses, because clearly they are greater design than ours.
Thank you. Does anybody else care about that endeavor?
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Boyo, excellent. We were really hoping you would answer that one. Boyo, roll 3d6 on your investigation, because you're the guy who would figure this out. Oh boy, you can do it. So, going through the administrative logs in the main capital at the island fortress, where the wall is, you're looking through a maintenance log, and you see that the maintenance log requires the cultivation of 46 billion snails. Or what amounts to snails, in the closest thing you could approximate to it. So digging further into that, you find that the stuff they make their ships out of is partially organic. It's made by these snails.
In other words,
I don't know if this is meta information now. I don't know if I should.
Well, like Boyo can tell that to anybody he wants.
Okay. Well, I may. Okay.
They're sea snails, by the way.
Yeah, and I now suddenly may know what the black seaweed is.
Well, the black seaweed isn't a snail.
I know that, but it might be snail food.
Ooh. Maybe?
Because if the ships are made out
will neither confirm nor deny? That is a very good guess. Like we don't know how to neither confirm nor deny in this way in a non-leading fashion, other than to tell you, like, without confirming or denying, that is a really amazing guess with the information that you've got. Like,
because if the ships are partially organic, that would be snail food for any snails they have on the ship for however they process it.
Okay, no, we can fix this. No. The ships themselves or like the material itself are built using a byproduct of the snail.
Well, okay, similar idea.
So live snails are not going to be on the ship.
Okay.
Yeah. They have giant farms, and then the snails produce these byproducts, and then they pack them up and they send them off to the shipyards and the construction plants.
Okay.
Yeah. No. So that one we can actually just deny. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so whatever it is that the snails produce, it is a building material for these ships, but they're not.
Yes.
But the snails are not themselves part of the ship.
Yeah, they use the snails to build the ships. They don't build the ships with snails, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Great. Sounds like I need to start cultivating those bastards.
Sounds like you gotta start cultivating them snails. Yeah.
And get the best grits to show us how they're built.
Well, I'm pretty sure there's logs.
Let's let them do it.
I'm pretty sure there'll be more logs on how it's built.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Yeah, but now the big thing is that you know that the secret to their material sciences technology might be these snails. Congratulations.
Wonderful.
The Hebbard scientists. Sorry about that. The Hebbard scientists are who you should be presenting all of this, though, to when you get to your location.
Yes.
Yeah. So
that would be a good diplomatic gift when we do speak with them.
Oh, I just thought of something. Now, of course, Boyo touched that rock and gained the knowledge of whatever that ancient civilization is. Does anyone on the Hebbard homeworld, do they know that language too?
Before you answer that, do we even know that Boyo got that knowledge? Did Boyo ever have it?
He told us about it, but he's the only one who knows it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe we should take along the Hebbard Princess's, whatever his name is, that also knows that language. Maybe he should come with us.
Yeah, the archaeologist.
Just in case.
Well, so that language is a dead language. Only like archaeologists and shit would know it.
Yeah, but we needed him to translate for us when we were talking with the Hebbard Princess, because otherwise she wouldn't have understood us.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
So we also sorry. Continue.
No, you first.
I was going to say we also really don't know how relevant it is, but true.
Well, no, he's talking about using it as a middleman language for a translator.
Well,
which makes
how
sense.
long have we been here with the Hebbards?
It's been a while, as we recall. Like
long enough for
several weeks.
Long enough for me to gain the basics of their language.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
Their language isn't even really weird compared to ours. It doesn't have weird clicks and stuff like that, like the Baskeric's language.
So for the rest of us who aren't really like actively studying it, we'd be understand maybe broken words here and there, but not really.
More that if you were listening to it, it would be recognizable to you as something that might be a human language.
Except other than like the best
you don't understand it.
Yeah, it's just like if they were speaking Chinese or whatever. Like, oh, that is a human language. I could speak that if I wanted to. I could learn it if I wanted to. Whereas the Beskriks use like clicks and trills and stuff like that in their language or sounds that we simply can't make.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So my point being, we don't need to take the archaeologist because we no longer need the intermediate language.
And Boyo can definitely learn more of their language on the 10 days there. A good month or whatever of like consistently immersive learning 4 or 5 hours a day of a given language or what have you can produce you some surprisingly decent conversationalism. If you're linguistically motivated, you won't be fluent, but it'll get you through a diplomatic meeting.
Yeah. As long as they know I'm not fluent.
Yeah. As long as they're aware, and of course you'll have other Heberds that can just explain, like, "Hey, we've been teaching him the language, but he doesn't know everything yet."
I'm not all there yet.
Yeah, they're very friendly. They're, as far as you've seen so far, the Heberds aren't like a people that misunderstand super easily.
Yeah.
Like they get it. Yeah.
Well, I think I would be ready to go because I don't think there's really much else to cover.
Righto.
Before we head out.
10 days of training with the weaponry and training with the troops, I guess, for me.
One moment. You'll have to take about a week of just like fiddling around with the ship and getting to know what the fuck you're looking at, because for obvious reasons you can't take too many Beskricks on this particular trip. Certainly not a full complement. So it takes about a week, and we know it's been a short ass session. I mean, it's not actually a terribly short ass session, but this is more or less where we would want to stop, because next session is going to be a combat session that Matei is going to want to be part of. So that being said, it's been pretty consistent. 1 combat, 1 RP, off and on.
Did I miss? I thought Matei was staying back on the planet
for the siege of the capital city and the deciding of all that kind of stuff. He'll be back next time, but when you all go back and do your next mission, that'll be him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Didn't somebody else say they weren't going to be here this time or next time?
Yeah,
I would Father not be Holly, so we're just gonna have to skip.
All right.
Next time.
That's fine. It happens.
Here. We know, as we said, there's only a couple more sessions that are explicitly on rails. Next one is one of them.
Doesn't matter to me. I'm having a good time.
Yeah, sorry, boyo. We know it's a bit of a disappointment, but yeah, next session is kind of on rails. We need to introduce some important concepts, and then we'll some important things to the campaign, and then actually we're pretty sure, like, basically after you reach the Heberd world, that then the game is basically entirely off rails. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, so you only have like 1, maybe 2 sessions more of on rails, and then it's complete and total unlimited sandbox. So yeah, Father Mihaly, you never did talk about the kind of lands that you want for your congregation.
Personally, I'm not sure what lands I would want, admittedly.
Well, you personally, but I think back then, they would definitely want some very good land, and I believe
plenty of land is good land.
Yeah, farmland would probably be the most lucrative, especially for establishing. That's my opinion, anyway.
Father Mihaly is a man of the people, so he would probably want something that is also easier for people to contact him at. Obviously, for Malmbjorn and his Varangians, having mountainous fjord terrain and stuff like that is very much at home for them, but that's because that's their specialty. Same with Boyo and his gulfs and bays.
I think...
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's it. So
okay. I think I would want some land that is vast, but preferably flat and even.
A good open plain.
I would say so, yes.
That's good farmland. That's good.
Yes.
Cool. All right. So Mihaly wants an open plain. Boyo predictably wants that good beachfront property, as you do, and Malmbjorn wants a cascade type scenario going on.
Definitely want those ore deposits, if there are any.
All right. We'll talk to Matei over the next week and find out what kind of land he wants. And other than that, we're pretty sure we can wrap up this episode. So, hope everybody enjoyed it here today. If you liked what you saw, do the things. Everybody, feel free to say goodbye.
Bye.
See ya. Have a good one.
Bye.